We are glad to be on Voice Talk. So I'm Beth Brezenoff. I'm the Vice President and Publisher here at Capstone. And we've done several cool voice projects with Google. And so I've been really excited by the opportunity. And the most recent is one of my favorites. So I am here with Tamara Pizzoli, who is joining us from Rome. She is owner and author at the English Schoolhouse. Hi, Tamara.
Hi.
Can you tell the audience a little bit about your background and how you came to work on the Girl Hero Stories project?
Sure, absolutely. So I am originally from Texas, born and raised, and I've been in Rome for over a decade. And I originally came here as a kindergarten teacher, not in Rome, but in Texas. I taught kindergarten for a really long time and moved to Rome and started teaching English just at language schools, and I really, really enjoyed it. So then I opened up one of my own, and then I've had some pretty difficult things happen in my life. I lost my only sibling, my sister, and decided to switch from having to see people every single day and interact with them in such a up close way to sharing everything beautiful that I have in my heart through stories. And so the English Schoolhouse was once an actual school, and then I converted it in 2014 into an independent publishing house. And so I've been publishing my little heart away ever since.
That's incredible. That's really amazing. So I think we want to tell everybody a little bit about this collaboration. So it's a collaboration between Capstone, the English Schoolhouse, and Google Assistant. And we launched this project on October 11th, which is the International Day of the Girl. We have an International Girl thing happening here today, which is kind of exciting. Tamara, before we dive in, why don't we tell people how they can access these great stories?
Yeah, totally. So it's just an action, a Google action, and all you need to say is, "Hey, Google, tell me a girl hero story," and 25 fiction and nonfiction stories will pop up from the English Schoolhouse and Capstone Publishing. What were some of your favorites?
We have such a breadth of stories, and I love how your stories complement ours. We've got fiction, nonfiction. There's a great book about Harriet Tubman. There's a great book about Ruth Bader Ginsburg. And then we've got some fiction stories kind of covering the breadth of, well, not everything about what it could be to be a girl, but lots of things about being a girl. What about you?
So recently I have been on this whole remixed fairy tales kick. And so I have a retelling of 12 Dancing Princesses, but this version takes place in ancient Ethiopia, in Hore-Fin-Fin, which is now Addis Ababa, and it's 12 Abyssinian princesses. There's also Genevieve and the Giant, which is a retelling of Jack and the Beanstalk. But in my version, the giant is this big Black woman who lives in the sky and has gotten tired of the people on Earth's nonsense. And then I also am into kid bosses. Maybe it's because I wish my children had jobs. They're so expensive. So another favorite of mine is Harriet Hare, the Hair Guru. And it's about this kid who has a natural knack for doing hair and starts off, just kind of making some side change. And then it grows into a really formidable business for her. So a lot of fun stories.
So I'm curious, for you, what do you hope that users gain from being able to access this?
Well, my books traditionally have featured mostly Black characters as the main character. And that's just because there's such a void in children's literature for diverse content in general. So what I hope is that all children, but especially Black children, see themselves authentically and beautifully reflected in both the stories and the imagery. Imagery is very important to me as well. That's what I truly hope, is that all children find these stories to be of such value and use. I hope they become many children's favorites. What have you found to be the most meaningful part of the process?
I think it's just that idea, kind of like what you were saying, the idea of letting a kid discover these and see herself, or see, maybe it's a little boy who who is able to see a girl in a new way, or to just experience it. It's not just it's for everybody to be able to experience the wonderful power of these stories. So I don't know. It's really cool. And it's just kind of like a culmination of everything working together, I think, to come together in these stories.
What is your view on voice technology in publishing?
Well, I think that's such a good question because I think we're really just starting to scratch the surface of what's possible using voice technology. We've been partnering with Google Assistant for about a year, and it's been so interesting to me to hear about just the different ways that can bring a story into a family. So if you're reading a book, you kind of have to be doing a certain thing. You sort of have to be sitting down. Well, I mean, I guess you could be standing, but that seems uncomfortable. But if you're reading a book with a child, you're sitting down, you're looking at it together, and that's a wonderful thing. But it doesn't work for every moment of a family's life. So our Google Actions can be used, when you're making dinner. You could be standing there chopping vegetables for dinner and say, "Hey, Google, tell me a story," and you can start to experience a story with your kid next to you. So it just offers this sort of different dimension of what a story can be and where a story can take place for a family and with a family.
I agree completely. For me, again, as a Black woman and as a Black publisher, the storytelling component is my very favorite part of it. It feels so much like home, so organic.
Tamara, it's been awesome to talk to you today. It's been wonderful working with you and with Google on this project. Can you just remind viewers how they can access these stories?
Sure. It's as simple as saying, "Hey, Google, tell me a girl hero story."
Yep. And you'll get 25 stories of amazing girls from history and from today. And that's it from us.